Goofy, 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 goofy. In 2020, I offhandedly mentioned that I knew of the existence of a video game called Kingdom Hearts. So my grandma got it for me for my birthday, and ironically, it ended up being my most used gift ever, probably, as I am now an avid Kingdom Hearts fan. So I wanted to do a little exercise, which is going through every one of the, major Kingdom Hearts games and just giving my thoughts on them. I have a few, things I want to establish. I will not be discussing the mobile games or Recoded. The mobile games are gonna get their own video somewhere down the road, as I said during my Dream Eater video that I'm working on, sort of a revamp of the Kingdom Smarts episode about them. And as for Recoded, it just doesn't have enough content for me to talk about. Oh, and about the super bosses. During the Kingdom Hearts 1 section, I mentioned that I'll talk about the rest of them later. I decided against that. I think I'm gonna make a separate video talking about only the super bosses and extra challenges, because there's a lot of them. So, look forward to that in the future, I guess. Anyway, let's begin with... The original Kingdom Hearts has received a lot of praise. It has also been subjected to quite a bit of criticism, usually revolving around its gameplay. People claim the gameplay is, stiff or clunky.
Back in my day, we didn't say floaty, we said clunky! Clunky!
And at first, I kind of agreed. Kingdom Hearts was my first, real video game that I played. I'd played Mario Kart and shit, but, I guess that counts, but this was my first, true experience into, one where you have to actually fight stuff. And I will admit, I have gotten frustrated by the controls a bit, because I tried to mash X to win and got mad when the game didn't let me, but that's not the criticism that people who say it's clunky are making. And I also really hated the platforming, because, hippos! 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 But looking back, there's a lot about the original Kingdom Hearts that I didn't, appreciate. First of all, the gameplay is a little stiff compared to later games, but it is still enjoyable and needs some strategy, which, basically what I'm saying is, past me, just get good, you nerd. A lot of this game taught me, the ins and outs of how games where you have to beat stuff up should be. A lot of people claim that this is a button masher, but if you try button mashing through this game, oh man, you're gonna get blocked by so many bosses. And I in general get the criticism of the combat, but I don't entirely agree, because I still think it's fun and also requires some strategy, especially in stuff like Unknown. See, a few months after the original Kingdom Hearts released, they released a special edition exclusive to Japan called Final Mix, which introduced a bunch of new features, including a new super boss, Unknown. This began the trend of really hard fights that would be unlocked after you beat the game and would hint at future story events. See a few of those later down the line, particularly in KH2, Birth by Sleep, and Kingdom Hearts 3. But the combat's not all good, so now it's time to talk about some of the negatives. Obviously there's poorly designed bosses. There is in every Kingdom Hearts game. But beyond that, the combat, doesn't feel the best to play at times. And, I get it. It's still fine, but, it's not at its full potential, and we'll see it at its full potential in later games. But beyond that, I want to talk about the story. Okay, actually, just quick side note, platforming, sometimes bad, but a lot of time good, creative, and, makes everything feel more alive. There's a lot of little details you can find. While the gameplay is pretty divisive, the story is almost universally praised. And I agree with most of it. I personally think, the plot, the things that happen, is pretty interesting and well-written, and of course, it has one of, if not the best pacing in the series. However, I do have to talk about the characters. Out of the characters who play a major part, 4 of them are original characters. And I only like one of them in this game. Sora and Kairi are bland and forgettable, and Riku... so annoying! Brings out the gossiper in me. I just want to spread a rumor about him. So annoying. I hate him. Friggin' Riku. Did you know that in 3rd grade, he still wet the bed? Oh, but you didn't hear that from me. And Ansem, he's pretty chill. However, it doesn't really bother me because the characters, I don't really care about them, but, like, they're inoffensive. And you still have Donald and Goofy, who are, fantastic characters. But even if it doesn't bother me, it is still a knock against the game. However, that knock would not remain for long, as the characters would quickly improve in the next game. Speaking of which... And so it begins. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories has been long controversial because of, well, the fact that it's a direct sequel to the original Kingdom Hearts that released on the Game Boy Advance with the title of a spin-off. I wasn't aware of this before joining Kingdom Hearts, but apparently in gaming series, usually spin-offs aren't canon, but Kingdom Hearts works like a movie series. Every entry is canon, whether it has a big fancy number or not. This caused a lot of confusion when Kingdom Hearts 2 picked off where Chain of Memories left off, and a lot of people had no clue what the hell was going on, because why would they? We shouldn't have to play this game, but you do, and honestly, I think you should, because, hot take, Chain of Memories is a pretty good game, and it's better than the original. I'm sorry. That's my hot take of the day. First off, the combat gets a lot of shit from people because, it's cards, and yeah, I will acquiesce. It could be a lot better, but for what it is, I actually think the card system's pretty fun. You get a lot of cool abilities, cool things to hit stuff with, and things still feel satisfying. And I guess if I had to choose, I would pick the original Kingdom Hearts combat, but, I feel like they're on equal terms. I have just as much fun with this as Kingdom Hearts 1. Now, the gameplay's not perfect, obviously. I vastly prefer many improvements. Some abilities are terrible, and some bosses are just, And, of course, there are some game-breaking mechanics that can be used to cheese bosses, and some bosses are bullshit. But honestly, I still have a pretty fun time. And now it's time to talk about the aspect of the game that is almost universally praised. The story. Which is probably the last time you'll hear that in a long time when discussing these games. And I have to agree. The story is interesting, and the complexities make it more interesting in this game than make it worse, like in Green Drop. But we'll get to that later. The whole concept of the castle and memories and all the concepts introduced are interesting, and not to mention the characters. The characters have vastly improved. Donald and Goofy are still great, obviously, but the new organization members, Vexen, you love to hate him. He's terrible, but, he's meant to be. Axel's pretty cool. Marluxia is an intimidating force with pretty powers, and Larxene is the best frickin' villain in the series. Don't at me. She's so much fun. She's I don't know. I think a lot of it comes down to her voice actress being really good, but best villain, best organization member, second best character. Mickey's an adorable and helpful friend, and I actually like Riku in this game. Oh, freaking, and Nominate. Nominate is sweet, and you really feel for her struggles. Sora's there too. Yeah, You feel for him, because he's just a kid. He's not, bad or anything, but, I still don't care about him. However, that'll change in the next Wait, no, actually the level design is way worse than Kingdom Hearts 1, and the map card requirements are bullshit, and I hate them, and they should stop being that. And also, I don't have a problem with the Disney worlds not relating to the main plot, because they never do, except for in Kingdom Hearts 1 and Dark Road. Other than that, they're always useless, yes, even in Kingdom Hearts 2. So, yeah, I don't really mind the Disney worlds not having a lot of use. Anyway, Chain of Memories is a good game. I really like it, y'all. Now, finally, on to... Despite having the baggage of Chain of Memories and the plot getting a bit more complicated, Kingdom Hearts 2 has almost been universally praised. It's everyone's go-to answer for what their favorite Kingdom Hearts game is. When the community doesn't like a Cage game, they're first to compare it to Kingdom Hearts 2. Now, I'd like to be interesting and have my own, hot take opinion, ooh, what if Kingdom Hearts 2 isn't as great as everyone says, but no, I really like the game. And there are a number of reasons for that. First of all, the combat. Despite me sucking in the footage playing before your eyes right now, I was just having a bad day, leave me alone. The gameplay is way more fun than it has ever been before. This improves on everything, making everything more fluid and making your hits, bigger and flashier and prettier, and everything just feels better to hit. You just want to hit stuff so much. Everything is so good and feels so good to hit that you just want to hit more stuff. Oh, look at the sparkles! The gameplay is good. There are a lot of intricacies and, watch other people. There are plenty of videos going in depth on why the combat is so good, but I don't understand any of that. Just feel good to hit. Good game. Now, of course, it has its problems. Some abilities are locked behind drive forms, which sucks. You should just get the movement abilities, which, by the way, hinders the level design, which is atrocious in this game. But I don't really mind. And, blah, blah, blah. Some poorly designed bosses, cough, cough. Lion King, Data Vexen, cough, cough. Now, the story here gets a lot of shit for making things complicated, but I don't really mind, because, it's fun. The Roxas story, first of all, is amazing, and people usually praise, and I agree, his story is amazing. Which his character was too. Anyway, the entire plot is always building this tension, and I love the vibes from this game, especially near the end when you go to Twilight Town, and then I personally recommend going to Olympus Coliseum, then returning to Twilight Town for the final world, which is not called the final world. That's an actual world in Kingdom Hearts, but that's not the one I was talking about. And oh, joyous day! Because not only are the returning characters, Donald, Goofy, the organization, they're all great, I finally like Sora! Yay! In this game, they actually give him, a personality instead of being just boring. So yay, now I like 2/3 of the Destiny trio. Come on, Kyrie. Please. Please become good. You were so good in 0.2. I had hope. I was like, yeah, I like you now, but what happened? Oh, please, Kyrie, fix. Anyway, Kingdom Hearts 2 is a good game, and combat's fine, and the finale of the game is just so amazing. Jeez. And because I care about the characters so much, the ending reunion made me tear up a little bit. Kingdom Hearts 2 is a really good game, and I can see why a lot of people love it. Now, on to the side games. Not playing this damn game again on an emulator just to get some pretty looking footage. 358/2 days has been debated. By the way, I'm not saying its real name because that's dumb. I'm saying the way it should be pronounced. Fuck you, Namora. Anyway, 358/2 days has been subject of a lot of controversy. Mostly in recent years, the debate has started up. People back then universally agreed, story's great, but the gameplay sucks. But nowadays, an interesting thing has been brought into the equation. That being that the gameplay is purposely bad because it relates to the story, and I believe this. Yes, the gameplay is bad so that the story will work. But is it worth it? I'm going to start with the story on this one because that's less to unpack. The story, good. The dialogue in this is some of the best. It's hilarious. It's a well-crafted narrative. The pacing might be the worst in the series, but whatever. It's meant to be played in short bursts. And you end up really caring about the characters and feeling bad when Shion dies. And, the dialogue. That was hilarious. I mentioned this, but y'all. So funny. Anyway, back to the gameplay. I don't think the story excuses it. I know that's what it's meant to be, but I'd rather have a fun game, right? Because while it might enhance the story, it just means that I won't come back to play the game and I'll have a worse experience. And to be honest, I'd rather just have a fun game than have a deep and meaningful game. And I don't think it would have even harmed the story that much if the gameplay was just fun. Yeah, there would have been a few memes or whatever, why does Roxas hate the organization so much? It's so much fun! But, other than that, it wouldn't have been that bad. So, I get the intentions, but ultimately, 358 over 2 days falls flat for me. And, unfortunately, this begins our new era. The first era, Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2, has concluded, and now we're in the era of spin-offs. Specifically, 3 controversial games that would come out to move the story forward. This was the first. The other 2 are much more notable. Birth by Sleep has become one of the most divisive games in the fandom. And a lot of that comes down to how it overall shifts and moves forward the Kingdom Hearts narrative and gameplay. Lots of new ideas are introduced, and the fandom, a lot of them didn't like it. So let's start off with the gameplay. This introduces the command deck, a controversial gameplay system where you no longer have combo finishers. Instead, you have a bunch of commands that you cast to make the flashy attacks happen. There are finishers that you can get if you hit someone long enough to get a combo finisher. However, those are usually quick time events like reaction commands and not as satisfying or useful as finishers in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 because of how long they take and having to click stuff. It's just worse. Combos just don't feel good, and you probably shouldn't use them. You're better to just sticking to commands, and honestly, if you want the best commands, just use Thunder Surge and Fire Surge. Starting from Days, these 3, the side game trilogy, will all have a really overpowered spell that, gives you invincibility frames or, is just overpowered and you should totally use it. 358 had Fire. This game has Thunder Surge, as mentioned, and Dream Drop Distance. We'll get to that in a moment, but I'm sure you already know. Now on to the story. The story of Birth by Sleep was praised by a lot of people, but also criticized. Okay, basically, I love the story, to be honest. I think the tragedy works and is really effective. But I do have a bit of, a little controversial take, right? So you can all watch, a lot of people will talk about how great and sad the story is, but a lot of people's favorite character is Aqua. And, I like Aqua, she's fine. But to be honest, I really got into Terra. Terra is, the best character in the game. Well, Goofy is in the game. Terra's the second best character in the game. First off, his arc is really powerful and interesting, but, even beyond that, Terra is just a really interesting character. He's nice, he has a personality, he has, anger, but he also has his silly moments, and I really love Terra, guys. He's so great. He's also orange. He's come on, guys, you gotta love Terra. Gotta! Okay, alright. So, all in all, Birth by Sleep is, it's a mixed bag. But overall, I found myself enjoying it, and hopefully they can improve from their mistakes from this game to mix the wonderful storytelling of this game with the amazing gameplay of like Cage 2 and the games before that. Instead, we got Dream Drop, a game with about the same amount of flaws in its gameplay as Birth by Sleep, and a story that exists. Oh boy, it sure has a script where things are written, things happen, time travel, surprise! I'm not following any order with this one, cause fuck you. Time travel is here now, and it's bad. It's in line with the other dumb stuff, but it doesn't go Kingdom Hearts crazy enough. It's just bad. It doesn't have, like, some crazy fun twist or whatever. It's just some guy, and he sucks because he's from the past, and the story sucks, the pacing sucks, it's bad. Sora is dumb for some reason here. Like, I don't know why, he's just dumb. It doesn't make sense. Oh, Dream Drop, I'm gonna beat you up. Punch Dream Drop. Hey, I might be going slightly insane, but there are some things to like about the story. This is the best Riku has ever been. I really like his character in this game. Donald and Goofy are always great as always, and to be honest, a lot of people, while they had problems with the true Organization 13, I had my problems too, but honestly, it is really exciting and made me really excited for Kingdom Hearts 3, so I don't fault them for that. I fault them for everything else, though! And that everything else, unfortunately, is the gameplay. Like Birth by Sleep, the combos are unsatisfying, and on top of that, you don't even get those quick time finishers, so there's basically no point in using them, and guess what? Fire, Thunder Surge, and introducing the third cheesable, Balloon, and it's the worst incarnation of all of them. Not only that, but these bosses might be the worst designed in the series, and on top of that, the game has a real problem with difficulty. I'm playing this on standard mode right now, and I'm demolishing Xehanort in this footage. However, if you're playing at the beginning of the game, the tables, they are turned. Dream Drop Distance is either unfairly hard or stupidly easy. There's no in between. And sure, you could just not use the overpowered commands, but why would you restrict yourself like that? All in all, Dream Drop Distance, to me, was a disappointment. I know that's ironic considering that's like the thing thrown at KH3, but honestly, like on the back of the Story So Far collection, that whole picture had me really excited, and it was honestly a letdown. And for this to be the 10th anniversary game, oh man, oh jeez. I mean, I'm gonna talk about Julius. I'm gonna talk about him. And thus, once I'd finished this game and having heard about the public's perception on KH3, I was kind of dreading it, so, how did it go? It went pretty well, actually. This might be a controversial way, because as I kind of established, fans kind of hate this game. Well, not all fans, some fans. Many fans found Kingdom Hearts 3 to be disappointing and one of the worst games in the series. But I'll be honest, I really love this game. It's tied with Kingdom Hearts 2 as my favorite in the series, and I'll explain what. First of all, the story is very different. It has a different tone from the previous two games. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 had both like kind of urgent situations, where this one, everything is planned. You know what's gonna happen, it's set out. So after they rescue Aqua and Ven, which by the way are perfect scenes, and I love the anti-Aqua subplot, just You get to see them preparing for war with the Pao-Poo fruit scene after years. I can't do math. Leave me alone. But beyond that, we get to the Keyblade graveyard, and first off, you get the surprise of everyone dying in the final world in the KH1-inspired revisit section, followed by them all returning the lingering will, and then, like, you get all the closure. The theory that Terra was the guardian is confirmed. You finally get to see everyone fall down, and finally, at the end, Xehanort is defeated, and we get a little emotional cutscene, and some people hate Xehanort's end in KH3, but honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love the little ending with him and Xehanort. I mean, fuck me, Ericus! With him and Ericus! And floating off Keyblade Heaven with the final gut punch of Sora fading away. Everyone's on Destiny Island. Happy. But the one who's responsible for it all is gone. But that leaves room open for him to be saved in the later games, which gave me so much hype when I first played it, and now knowing about Kingdom Hearts 4, it's even more exciting. And as for the gameplay, I love it. I'm sorry, it just feels fun to me. Like, equally as fun as Kingdom Hearts 2, and well, on par of things being equal to Kingdom Hearts 2, I also found it just as difficult as Kingdom Hearts 2. Whether that means I'm really good at Kingdom Hearts 2 or really bad at Kingdom Hearts 3, that's up to you to decide, but I managed to have some trouble with bosses like Scold or those friggin' Caribbean pirate ship fights. And on top of that, it's just fun, y'all. It manages to hit that balance that Dream Drop failed to. And I don't know, I just really like Kingdom Hearts 3. Not much to say. Now, Remind is an important step in this, but I plan to have my own video on Remind later because that has a whole own reputation, and I feel like I want to dedicate an entire video to that. Actually, wait, I forgot to talk about the characters. The characters in this game are amazing, except for Kyrie. But I love, like, the Sea Salt Trio finally getting their reunion, and the Wayfinder Trio, Aqua's arc, then saving her, it's all amazing, and finally, the conclusion. The ultimate, my friends are my power. The trinity that kills Xehanort. Oh my god, Sora, Donald, and Goofy are just, like, such good characters. Like, oh my god. You know, it'd be nice to end off with this grand game. This big game that took so long and sets up so much and that I really love. Unfortunately, alright, I'm gonna keep the gameplay section short because, we have to talk about the story, y'all. Anyway, the gameplay, it's fun. I like the gameplay. It's like, look at the pretty sparkles and you get things right. It's really nice. I love the gameplay of Melody of Memory. It's a great rhythm game. Okay, now on to the story. Kairi. So, this was promised to us. Well, it wasn't, but like everyone perceived it as such because there were a lot of Kairi in the trailer and Kairi on the poster, that this would be the Kairi game. And at first, it's going well. She fights Xehanort, she learns more about her past, and then she and Riku go to the final world with the fairy godmother, meet up with the Nameless Star, and are ready to go on their adventure. How exciting, a new path.
Kairi, that's not...
Yeah.
Why?
I know.
Why? I know.
I want to go with you.
Aqua, blah, blah, blah. She's training with Aqua, but like...
But
She doesn't need to train with Aqua.
I know that I
great.
can't.
You see her in Rewind? She was
I need
kicking
to
ass.
finish
But
training.
now, all of a sudden, she has to go train again. I hate this. Why? She shouldn't have to go train again. And that wraps up my thoughts on Kingdom Hearts. Melody of Memory made me angry, but let's be honest, Kingdom Hearts 4 is gonna fix it. Kairi might be stuck, but whatever. I think it's a really bad story decision to have her stay there, but this game still has plenty of more surprises and twists and turns. And honestly, I just love the series. On top of the games I praised, like Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2, and Kingdom Hearts 3, even some of the games I criticized I still play regularly and love, like Birth by Sleep and Melody of Memory even, because we don't care about Melody of Memory story. We like the gameplay. Although Birth by Sleep story, I can go back to because that's great still. Ultimately, yeah, I just really love Kingdom Hearts, guys, and that was my round of all the games. I'm really tired. Spent days on this. Had a Twitter controversy to deal with, but now it's out. Yay! I'm gonna die now, bye.